Happy Thursday to you all. This is Morning After Delight, baby. Mad Podcast. This is your boy, D Exclusive with DXWorldMedia.com, where dreams choose you. Welcome to the show. We're going to be talking about the 3 ways people fall out and fall in love today. Hope you're ready for it. So I asked ChatGPT, oh boy, what's going on here? Okay, there we go. I was trying to see if ChatGPT was specific to the United States. So what are the top 3 reasons romantic couples fall out of love in the United States? I really wanted to talk to you guys about the things that could cause you to fall out of love. The things that we got to work on in our relationships. The top 3 reasons are communication issues, unresolved conflicts, and lack of emotional intimacy. These reasons are not exhaustive, and each couple's experience is unique. So everyone's ongoing relationship is unique. So these are not the only ways that you could fall out of love, but these are the top 3 that, according to ChatGPT, that you could fall out of love. However, addressing the communication issues, learning healthy conflict resolution, which is in one of my other episodes about how to fight with your partner, and prioritizing your emotional intimacy and essential steps for couples seeking to strengthen their connection and prevent falling out of love. So let's look at communication issues first. Chat says poor communication, including a lack of effective communication skills, failure to express your needs and emotions, and frequent misunderstandings, can lead to feelings of disconnection and dissatisfaction in a relationship. Over time, unresolved communication issues can erode trust, intimacy, and emotional connection, causing couples to drift apart and fall out of love. Now, here at MadPod, I remember us talking about intimacy with ourselves and then how we need to know how to talk to ourselves first. And I hope you guys all are taking time to do that on a daily and really encouraging your children and any of your close friends and family to really listen to yourself. Really get to know what your needs are, what your wants are, what your desires are. And find the courage to embrace your identity with those values and those ideas. Once you do that, you'll be able to talk freely and openly and honestly about yourself to the people you meet, especially your romantic partners, the ones that you're going to be with you most often, not all the time. Especially if you're living together, you're going to have daily misunderstandings or opportunities to communicate better as you age and ripen your love together. When I start thinking about communication and the things that help me, it starts with that. It starts really knowing what I want and what I desire, and finding healthy ways to express it. One negative for me is I get really intense or passionate, or sometimes people perceive that as really angry. And it can be anger, but sometimes it's just like, oh my God, I'm ready to go. Let's go. We got to go now. We got to rushing almost. Sometimes that's based on the understanding of a time restraint. We have to be somewhere on a certain time. Other times it's more of like, I'm just rushing because I am impatient or impulsive and I just want to leave. I just want to go. So that's one example of how you got to be aware of your own things that you could do better at, and surprise your romantic partner with more a different approach. Not necessarily balanced, because when you're romantically involved, I mean, the feelings are really intense. They're not really balanced. They're really extreme at times. And the only way to balance it is to enjoy those times that are not super romantic or super intense, and enjoy the times that are more like just day-to-day routines. And that would help you balance out. But the problem is that I notice, especially in my relationship, sometimes I don't enjoy those mundane or simple tasks because I'm always trying to hustle, trying to be an entrepreneur, trying to be just like focused. I feel like I'm not enough because I'm not providing enough either time, financial support to my wife and kids. And like, I freak the fuck out, basically. So for me, it's more of like, I'm here. My presence is enough. And I must be open to the ideas of where I can become more assertive and leadership and more interactive at times. But I don't need to be so pushy and force things, force activities, force romantic gestures, or anything like that. I can invite and be okay with the rejection. And that's the thing that I just realized in this moment. I've talked about rejection before on another episode, but I don't know if we touched on this, that in romantic partnerships, we need to learn how to be okay with rejection from our partner. Did you guys just get that too? Like, wow, we're always rejected regardless of like if it's just the first meeting and trying to create a partnership. Even through a long-term relationship, you're going to be rejected on moments. Like, say I want to watch something on TV, or I want to watch an episode that we've been watching together, and I invite her to watch it with me, but then if she rejects me because she's distracted by other things that's going on in her area of the relationship, or she's just not really trying to be present in watching that episode, she'd rather watch something else. So then that's where the communication happens. I want this. I want this. Is there a we, or is it just you and I? Sometimes we have to be okay with you go do you and I do me. It's okay as long as we find a way to choose each other at the end of the day. So that's where happiness is a choice. Relationships are a choice. You got to choose that committed relationship. And that's where commitment comes into play. You got to choose. I've been together with my wife for 15 years, and that's not by accident. We have met maybe by the universe or by accident, or actually by her choice to reach out to me and create a relationship, invite me to a relationship. She invited me in this situation, in my love story. And I was, whoa, okay. And then, I think we still need an episode on my love story so you can get a concept of how I've grown and where I am at in all this love talk. But as for today, remember, we're talking about the three things that cause us to fall out of love, which is one, communication skills, and the second one is unresolved conflict. So when we do disagree in our communication, and we feel hurt by our communication by either, I mean, it could be so simple as like the way I said something to my partner, and she could be brewing a conflict that I don't even know about. Or I could be doing the same thing. I could be being really quiet, opposite of my character. Sometimes it's maybe related to that I'm upset. Or maybe it's just that I'm just taking a break from talking because I've been talking all day at work or on the podcast or whatnot. But unresolved conflict, according to ChatGPT, couples who struggle to effectively resolve conflicts and disagreements may find themselves growing distant and disconnected over time. When conflicts are left unresolved or handled in a destructive manner, the negative ways to fight, watch that episode in my playlist. Emotional intimacy can suffer. Without healthy conflict resolution skills and a willingness to address the underlying issues, couples may find it difficult to maintain a strong and loving connection. And I know I'm a broken record. It just, you have to know yourself. You have to learn to get to know yourself over the course of your entire life. Kid, adult. What were we, kids for only like 17 years? If we live to 100, that's 83 years as an adult. That's like 5 or 6 times the amount of time as an adult. We have to practice being an adult all the time and create those systems of success, those happiness activities, the things that we enjoy, and especially with our partner, and find out ways how to communicate and resolve our issues. You and I must become a we, and we have to fight to maintain that we of intimacy, that connection, and that's the entire reason I'm talking to you today, and the reason why you're listening to me right now is that you're seeking that you're seeking that understanding, that you want to find companionship, you want to find love, you want to find intimacy, you want to find that physical desire, you want to find satisfaction in your relationships. First, you got to find you, and then you got to help your partner, or identify and join your partner on their journey of finding themselves. If you guys haven't, and who knows themselves? What age do you know yourself completely? I mean, there's college kids, young and old, that are trying to do a degree that they still think they need to do, but then when they finish, they're not really into the subject anymore. Same thing with relationships. You move on to another relationship. You move on to another degree. And that's because you're not really finding what you really like to do. And you got to just find what you really like to do and just do more of that so you can enjoy, be successful in whatever area of expertise you want to learn. I enjoy talking, entertaining, helping people, remind them of what they already know on the inside, or they may have blocked it with distracting emotional distractors or trauma, and unpack it. I'm trying to ungift. Open up the gift of happiness and internal emotional connection with yourself and the people you're involved with. And that's Morning After Delight, baby. That's why you need to buy my book, to enjoy the foods that I inspired to make for my wife, and why you like, subscribe, and comment below, and follow my journey on this podcast journey to enjoy the growth I'm going to be as a presenter of this emotional content. The third thing that really causes people to fall out of love is the lack of emotional intimacy. Emotional intimacy characterized by trust, vulnerability, and mutual support. Trust, vulnerability, and mutual support is essential for maintaining a strong and lasting romantic connection. Couples who experience a decline in emotional intimacy may feel disconnected, unfulfilled, and unappreciated or grateful in their relationship. Factors such as stress, busy schedules, competing priorities, can undermine emotional intimacy and contribute to feelings of loneliness and dissatisfaction, ultimately leading to a loss of love. Adult life is overwhelming responsibility. There's so many things that we have to do in a day, and sometimes we feel like we don't have enough time. Compound that with relationships with your kids and your spouse, or even if you don't have kids, just having another person and dealing with all their distractions and inabilities or whatever of communication is very hard. And that's why I promote the we. After you communicate with your partner, try to end every conversation with the we. We're going to do this. Right? Back and forth. We got this, right? Kind of like when you're in a sports huddle for a team. You're getting together with the coach. We're all together. We're a team. We're a we. Everyone knows their assignments. With the leaders in the group, everyone understanding. The only difference is it's only a two partnership, and usually in a relationship. And there's no coach or anyone leading the two. So then that means you both have to take turns leading. Or if that becomes too difficult and you guys do really love each other and you want to stay together, you find counseling, therapy, or a happiness coach. I volunteer as tribute to be your happiness coach. I will help facilitate those conversations, either together or separately, to give you the confidence to move forward with what you guys plan together. So you could be fulfilled, satisfied, and just experience all the happiness activities that you've defined for yourself. And remember to define your emotional intimacy as an individual and as a couple. What are the activities that you could do to create that safety, that you feel vulnerable, but yet you feel super safe with someone? When you feel super safe and vulnerable with someone, you create that emotional bond. I got fortunate that my wife felt that way right away with me. I did things right by just being who I am, and our already natural beings were good, but over 15 years we've developed it and made it stronger. We've adapted and adopted each other's strengths to be happier and closer together. And we have a lot of work to do. We're both not very good at spending our money, so financially we still need to figure out that one. But the emotional stability is amazing. And that's one of the things I really bring to my coaching, and what I bring here on this podcast is I really want to create this example of being open and vulnerable through my stories, through my content, through things I respond to, through chat. This is me. I am here with you. Everything. Mind, body, spirit. And I want to help you gain that confidence and courage to do the same thing for yourself. You don't have to be as public as I am, but in your private lives, you should be able to do what I do with your partners. Have a conversation. Be okay to show a healthy way of being disappointed or sad, but don't put it back on the other person. So like, for example, with the TV, I'm not going to be I'm not going to carry on the conversation of me not liking the show we're going to watch. I'm going to change the conversation to, what are we going to do right now? If I'm okay with it and she's okay with it, like if we're going to watch our separate stuff, that's a we decision. As long as we both agree to it. And not necessarily agree out of submissiveness or anything, just agree like, I'm just happy to be in the same room. I have a TV right here and I have a TV over there, so we're in the same room. Even if we weren't in the same room, I know we're in the same house. But remember to create activities before or after those single activities to reconnect. A simple touch, a gaze, a look, a reminder, a thank you. Thank you for doing this today for me or for the family. Those little gestures, if you consistently put them in the cup, it'll become full and make the other person feel full. So basically, try to care more, you know? That was a good talk about the reasons people fall out of love. Let's see what chat says about the 3 reasons in the United States why romantic couples stay in love. I put United States just to try to be clear with chat, but chat didn't really even mention the United States. It's just universal, I guess. The first one is the same one as the negative. You have to have effective communication. The second one is shared values and goals. And the third one is emotional intimacy and connection. I like how it repeats itself a lot in all these episodes that we've done so far. This episode number 7 of Mad Pod, Morning After Delight podcast. Because it's like a little drops of water in the cup to let you know and remind you of the simple things that we all need to do to have a successful, happy relationship with each other. So Chet talks about communication. Couples who prioritize open, honest, and respectful communication tend to maintain a strong and lasting bond. Effective communication allows partners to express their needs, desires, and feelings openly, resolve conflicts constructively, and deepen their emotional connection over time. Regular communication helps couples understand each other better, build trust, navigate challenges together, strengthening the love and commitment to each other. Isn't it true? I mean, this is how I stay connected with my wife. We prioritize our open and honesty and respectfulness to our communication. Now, none of us are perfect, though. We got to remember that. We got to just be better than the day before or the hour before. So say you made a mistake in your delivery of a communication. Own it. You don't have to spend too much time on apologizing because the apology is in the action of not doing it again. I'll say that again. You don't have to spend a lot of time in the apology. The action after the mistake is the grounding force of a real apology, of not doing that same thing again. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Basically, be apologetic, but not necessarily say it after you've said it once. A good apology verbally is good, but show it in changed behavior. Change your habits. Like I was saying about me maybe getting too intense. Maybe me on the next opportunity. Just breathe. Just listen and watch. To strengthen my leadership as a father and a husband instead of being overly pushy. And vice versa. Number 2, the shared values and goals. Couples who share common values, interests, and life goals often experience greater compatibility and cohesion in their relationship. When partners align on important issues such as family, career, finances, and personal values, they're more likely to support each other's aspirations and work together as a team. There goes that team talk again. Having shared goals fosters a sense of partnership, unity, and mutual respect, contributing to long-term relationships and the fulfillment in the relationship. So when you're dating, that's where you gotta really start practicing who you really are. Don't come in all fake trying to get what you want, fellas or ladies. Don't be extra yes ma'am, yes sir in the beginning. We're trained to do that. I mean, out of society and biology, we're trying to mate and connect and really just like keep them in our area. But we're a lot more grown in 2024, aren't we? We could create even stronger and better relationships if we're upfront right away. Like, this is who I am. I love this. I love that. What do you love? Not be judgmental. Just hear, listen, each other. Maybe help redirect. If you're knowledgeable of this content and you're more advanced in communication and the other person's not, that might be a reason not to move forward. And that's okay for both parties. Or the person that is a little bit lower and the one that's higher, the higher one may want to help them grow, but not where they want to change them. Just encourage them to be better than they were yesterday. They're not going to be the higher version of themselves. I mean, now they won't be higher than the one that came in advanced right away. I mean, maybe one day, but that's not the point. You're not supposed to compete on all the communication and who is the last one to say something or whatever, or the first person to say something wins. It's not a race when you're in a relationship. I mean, what? You got like, if you're lucky, you meet when you're 20s, you get to your 70s, you have 50 years. Can I hear that again? You might end up being 50 years with this person. I know some people might have tragedies and you're only together for 1 year. So that's why every day from day one is the most important, to be the best version of yourself. And a little preview, that gives me the idea. Next episode, number 8, we need to talk about how many people are in a relationship. I just learned a new concept and I really want to talk about it on next episode. It's basically asking yourself, how many people are in a relationship? Comment below and tell me how many people you think are in a relationship. And we'll go over what I've learned recently next episode, all right? I'll see you next time on that one. Let's finish up episode 7 with the third way you could stay in love. Emotional intimacy is the way you stay in love. Characterized by your trust, vulnerability, and affection is a key component of lasting love. Couples who prioritize nurturing emotional intimacy through the regular expressions of love, appreciation, and affection tend to experience greater satisfaction and fulfillment in their relationship. Sharing intimate moments, supporting each other through ups and downs in life, making time for meaningful connections, strengthening the bond between partners, and sustain their love over time. Now, I know a lot of you might think just the physical. And as you already know, I think I might have said this before, that's my number one priority, is to make the physical connection. But not necessarily straight to the sex, okay? It's more of I'm so into you, I want to have sex with you, but I'm going to touch other areas of your body to let you know that I like to do that because it's more subtle. And I get a better response with my wife. So instead of trying to just grab the titties or the biscuit down below, relax. Why don't you touch her hips? Grab her hips like with one hand and pull her forward to you. Or just like touch her arm and just like swing her around. Maybe go underneath her head when you're laying down, either waking up or just laying down watching TV. Try to underneath and just like hold her head or arm around, or put your arm around her neck or whatever. Pull her hair. You could do that. I mean, gently, because it's more of just I'm here, baby. I'm here. I'm right here. You know. I know people ask of it and need it after a long day's work. Might as well rub each other's feet, both of you. It's hard though, you're both tired. And it's not really a moody thing. It's more of just a connecting thing. So it's just like that hard iron work at the gym. It's a must. It should be done. Or if you don't want to, you can maybe just bring her a hot water to let her soak her feet. Or him. You could help your husband soak his feet. Um, just find cute things that your partner likes and that you like too. You don't have to do everything that they like all the time. You could try to add some of yours, and over time, hopefully, you guys will identify the top 10 that you like to do. And then once in a while, try some things that you haven't tried, and then you'll go on another journey to create another bonding activity or connection. I know one thing my wife likes is whenever like she's watching this or she's like at the grocery store, she likes to me come up behind her and just like kind of like put my hands on her hip and walk with her. I don't do it as much as I should, but it's just something I'm not really into, so I just try to surprise her once in a while. I like the hand on the head and the shoulders, stuff like that. So let's recap, baby. So if you're just joining us, the three factors people fall out of love are communication issues, unresolved conflict, and lack of emotional intimacy. And then the reason they stay in love is that they have good, effective communication, have shared values and goals, and have emotional intimacy and connection. So, if you didn't know already, those are the three things that are actually very similar to each other when trying to develop and stay in love. But you could also use this information to try to fall out of love if you feel like you're stuck with a partner that's not really the one anymore. I mean, and that's hard. I don't know. I mean, how do you know? Oh, that's another topic. We should ask ChatGPT that at number 9. How do you know when to not choose your partner anymore? Or how do you fall out of love if you feel like you're at the end of your relationship? Because you feel like you're still connected through the things you've shared, but yet you know the person is not really growing with you, and then you both grow out of love. One is maybe staying back behind emotionally, the other one is trying to grow either in financially, education, and you're like stuck and you haven't found that we conversation. Real quick, I think the best way to do it is to have at least someone help you facilitate that conversation. And in attempt to create the we conversation. Because you could probably save a relationship if you're able to talk about we and create we goals moving forward. And that's why a lot of people suggest going to couples therapy or happiness coaches to really just facilitate the conversation, because you two, out of all the time you've been together, haven't figured out how to communicate effectively and resolve all those conflicts. So maybe a neutral facilitator type person could help you with that. So please reach out to me if you'd like to have any of those services, and listen to that podcast. We're going to really dive into that with the chat. We're going to ask when to know to break up with someone, basically, or when to end a long-term relationship is what we're going to talk about in an upcoming episode, maybe number 9 or 10. We'll see what's up. Just subscribe, like, and comment below, and let me know which one you want to see, all right? This has been your boy, D Exclusive, with dxworldmedia.com, where dreams choose who? You.